Hi there, this is Jen Lang, and thanks for your interest in the Puget Sound Seabird Survey and for participating. This video is going to go over how you actually enter your data for your seabird surveys, and ideally, please enter your survey data on our website as soon as you can after your surveys. So to do that, go to our website at seabirdsurvey.org, click Interactive Website, and sign in. Your sign in will be given to you, but it should be your first name and the first letter of your last name, all lowercase letters and no spaces. So today I'm going to go into Toby Ross's account. So Toby R, password is Toby R. So it's the same thing for both. You log in and it brings you to your dashboard where we thank you for participating. It has your information or your life list for all of the birds that you've recorded and how many surveys you recorded over the years participating in our program. And it has this table here, and this is a table where you will actually be entering your data. So in the new season, all of these cells will actually have this enter button, or it will be blank because it wouldn't be November yet or December yet. So in this case, you have your survey sites and you have the dates associated with each. To enter your data, you'd go into, you would actually select a button that looks like this for the corresponding month that you're in. This oil spill column is only for ad hoc surveys that we conduct during an oil spill to actually document what birds might be at risk of an oil spill if there was an oil spill near your sites. So this would only be for those emergency situations. So say that we're going to be entering our information for 60th Street Viewpoint for October of this upcoming season. I'm going to click the enter button if it were in that October cell. And that would bring us to the top half of our data sheet. So here you have the names of the people on your team, keeping in mind that the first name will always be the person holding the ruler. So this is the person who's doing the distance measurement. These sheets or these drop-down lists will also be an autofill. So I know that Jean Trent is on Toby's team. So once you start typing in those names, that automatically fills in those names. Now, if you have more than 4 people on your team, you can add more people using this row. If you cannot find a certain person on your team in this drop-down list, say that I, Jen Lang, would be there. But I am not on this list. Oh, I am. So say that there was another person on this list, like I want to put in Chris Lang. This person is not on this list at all. So I will actually keep this cell blank, go back to the top, keep it blank, and then I'll make sure to put that person's name in the notes and comments section at the end of the data sheets. So for the survey date, it would normally automatically autofill if you select October for that specific survey site. But for now, I'm going to type it in, and it should always have 2 digits for month, 2 digits for date, and 4 digits for the year. Your survey site should automatically fill in, but you could also select it from the drop-down list. Your start time and end time will always be in military time. So say it was 2 o'clock that we started our survey, that would actually be 1400 with no semicolon in between. Your end time will always be from 15 to 30 minutes, ideally. So for ideal situations, we would end at 14:30, which is 2:30. In the event that you cannot do a survey, you have to make sure to click the No Survey Conducted box in the bottom here, and that would allow you to submit the fact that there was no survey conducted for the specific site for a specific reason. If you cannot do a survey because none of your team are available, please let us know and we could try to find substitutes for your survey to make sure that your data are still being collected for your survey site. So after your top half is completed, you're going to click on to Next. And this is where you're going to enter in all of your species information. So for the species dropdown, you can actually start typing in species and it will autofill for that. Here you want to, of course, put in the number of of individuals you recorded for this unique bearing and distance. So say this double-crested cormorant was swimming alone on the water within 300 meters at a bearing of 200, which is the reading off of our compass, and a distance of 6 millimeters from the horizon. So this is only if we know that the horizon was not obscured. We're able to see that water and sky or that water and land interface. We cannot tell the sex of double-crested cormorants, so I'm going to put 1 in this question mark here for sex ratio. Large flock does not apply here as well, and this is a bird that was within 300 meters, and we were able to collect bearing and distance measurements, so it is not considered an optional bird. Say in another case that we saw mew gulls, a large flock of mew gulls, approximately 100 mew gulls, but we did not record it. We did not record bearing and distance because they were they were too far away, and they were not technically within 300 meters. So in this case, we would say that they were detected. Checking this detected box means that we know we're not expecting to have bearing and distance measurements in the records here. And then we would put in the notes, flying, but also on water, too far, past 300 meters. So that's the note that I would include there. In the case of a large flock, like surf scoters, I would estimate my best estimate of how many birds were there. So say there were approximately 250 birds. We couldn't get a complete count because there were birds diving, there were birds adding to the flock, but we were able to put in a bearing and distance because we were able to estimate the center of that flock at 150 degrees and at a distance of 4 millimeters. So they were closer to that horizon than my double-crested cormorant. So with the sex ratio, we are able to estimate approximately, like say 75 males and 30 females, but we're unsure about the remaining birds. So of course I made that math really difficult for me, but 100, let's just say it was 100 for now, so I don't have to do the math. So for this large flock, I am going to estimate the minimum and maximum of the birds that we would estimate to be in that flock. So say that I'm at an error of 50 birds. So at minimum, there were 200. At the maximum, there might have been 300 total. So my best estimate is 250. Of course, if you're able to make estimates in terms of like actually counting the birds amongst you as a team, that's where these numbers also be extremely handy, so that we could get as accurate number as possible. So this large flock did not have the horizon obscured because we were able to get bearing and distance. It also wasn't optional because they were within the 300 zone. Now say that we found a Barrow's golden eye that flew off too quickly, or let's say there were 2 of them. So we would have gotten a bearing and distance in between the 2 of them, but we were only able to get a bearing and not a distance because I wasn't able to pull my ruler up quick enough. So because of that, we would have to put in an optional column. Put it in the optional column saying, was not able to record distance. And make sure to check this because we were able to detect it, but not able to collect the information. If the horizon was obscured, we would check this box, of course. Now, this is a very smart system. So if we were to have a bird that we were able to get a number on, but did not remember to put in horizon obscured, or if it was an optional bird, if we tried to click next, that would actually stop us from doing it and give us these records, or this give us a hint about why we aren't able to submit our data. So the Caspian tern must have a bearing and distance. Let's say that this was actually in flight. Oh, well, let's say that the horizon was obscured. Say this Caspian tern was actually floating on the water, but the horizon was obscured. There was something behind it. I would actually check horizon obscured and say that there was a sailboat in the way, so we couldn't record it. And this is giving me an indication that it's not a permanent fixture that is causing us to be able to not view this specific bird. So it also says Barron's goldeneye must have a distance measurement. So because of this, because we weren't able to record the distance, we would have to actually delete our bearing to allow us to continue. And that's okay, because if we weren't able to get a confident measure for either of these, we wouldn't actually be able to use this data for analyses. Lastly, the total number of birds must equal the total of gender counts. So if you don't actually sum it correctly, then obviously it would not give you, it would give you this error message. So try to do the math. Hopefully that works. If you needed to add more species on here, then you could add a new row, and that would actually add more records for you to fill in. Rarities are birds that we would not expect to see on our surveys. So if you are able to be lucky enough to spot one of these birds on your surveys, please record that under this rarity checklist. And these birds are not included in the regular species dropdown, and that's why it's a different section. So let's see if this will allow me to continue. Perfect. So the last part is the back of your sheet, where you have your survey conditions, visibility, human activity, and raptor activity. Of course, all of these will be for the predominant value that you saw during your survey. So reflect this as much as you can based on your survey sheet. And if you need more information about these details, find that in our full protocol video or in our protocol document. So of course, put in your visibility conditions, whether or not you were affected by glare, sea conditions, or weather, and then your tally of human activity. So this is predominantly for people who are influencing the behavior of birds within 300 meters of yourself. So this could be walkers on the beach, walking between you and the water or right behind you, power boats and unpowered boats. Other would also include scuba divers. So people who would be under the water and then popping up within your 300-meter zone is very important to note. Raptor activities also for birds that might be behind you. So say there was a bald eagle sitting behind. So how it would influence the birds, say flushed birds off the water. Oiling rates, of course, if you documented any buffleheads. And for the survey equipment, you're recording your binoculars and spotting scope. And in this square, you're only putting the maximum magnification power. So say Toby had an 8x42, but Jean had a 10x42. So you would actually put in Jean's 10x42 binoculars in this equipment versus Toby's lower magnification power. Or yes. So for the spotting scope, if you have more than one, you would put in the maximum magnification power for those spotting scopes. So say there was a 20x60, but also a 20 to 100x scope, you put in the 20 to 100x scope in this mag power here. Notes and comments, this is where you would put in any person who was not on that drop-down list, and other additional information. So once you have all of this filled out, you go into your preview, check out and make sure everything is right. And if you ever need to edit it, you could go back to look at what you needed to change and then change it. After this, you would actually select submit, but I'm not going to submit this now because this is fake data and I don't want fake data going into our data sheet and our database. So to return to, once you select submit, you would return to your previous page of your surveyor information, and you would actually be able to see the data that you entered by clicking that little magnification glass. If you needed to change anything after you have submitted, you could always do that again by selecting back, changing information, and then submitting it to save those changes. And that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to look at our website and view our videos to learn how to correctly record distance and bearing, and our full protocol for reference as well. If you have any questions, email us at science@seattleaudubon.org. And thanks so much for your interest and for being a volunteer for our program. Have a great day and have a good survey season.